Today we're taking a look at Blue Bossa. This is the second video. The first video we did sort of an overall analysis, and today what we're going to do is use the play along track to learn how to build a solo and how to think through a tune, both in a solo style as well as with comping. Maybe what we should do is just start with the chords, and I'll talk through it a little bit just to demonstrate the chord progression to begin with. Remember, it's a 16 measure progression, and let's maybe just jump in a little bit. C minor, F minor, G7, so that's 8 measures of C minor, D flat, right? 4 measures, and then back to C minor. Try that again. C minor, sort of sticking down here, and then D flat, okay, good. So that's a decent way to sort of warm up to comping. That's a nice way to get used to comping. We're doing a bossa here. There's no swing in a bossa, and we're just playing very simply over the chords without a lot of emphasis on upbeats and so on, just sort of sticking to the simple stuff like so. 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 3 4 4 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 4 3 4 1 2 3 4. Turn around. So that's what this is about is learning how to use play along tracks, and this is a great way to do it. You know, to be able to play as the guitar player in a rhythmic context, in a rhythm context, follow the chord changes. And then I would really strongly suggest at this point, if you've done an analysis of the tune and you think you know what's going on, just start getting rid of the chart, right? I use the chart for teaching purposes, but you should memorize a tune like this, keeping in mind one chord, 4 chord, 2 5 1, and then the 2 5 1 in the key of D flat, nice and easy. And then at the end again 2 5 1. In this case, this D minor 7 flat 5 is written as a D half diminished, circle and a line through it, meaning half of a diminished chord. The notes being found directly out of the C natural minor scale. Remember that C natural minor is going to be the same key signature as E flat major. That's its relative major. So as far as chords go, I would just do something simple like that. Now you can, of course, begin to add chord inversions and a few different colors and voicings, which is a nice idea, and we sort of talked about that. So some of them that you can use. For instance, how about a C minor 9? And a C minor 11. You put those together. How about a C minor 7 like this? Right. just listen to. Right, you can start moving around the fretboard a little bit in that way and make these chordal connections. The same thing will go for the F minor 7. Here's F minor 7. You can do F minor 7, F minor 7, F minor 6 will also work. And D minor 7 flat 5. We could do D minor 7 flat 5. We could do D minor 7 flat 5. G7 with a flat 9. Or we could use it as a diminished. As C, right? Let's just try some of those against the track and listen to what that sounds like. This can lead to sort of a chord solo type style as well, right? Get the idea, right? So move around the fretboard. Just try a couple of voicings at a time, and a couple of alternative substitutions. They don't have to be difficult. Even just simple stuff like inversions of the chords will work really well. Okay, now that's I think we'll just stop the comping thing there, and now let's take a look at the first 8 measures. All right, so if I take a look at the first 8 measures, just using the Aeolian mode. So it obviously works, right? The only problem that you're going to have, it's not a huge problem, but it's the G7 chord. The G7 chord has a B natural in it. The Aeolian mode does not have a B natural in it. Now, keep in mind. Also keep in mind the melody, right? I should just let me just reference the melody again for you, which we did in that first video, and it might make it clearer. Okay, so the point there is that's the way the melody sounds. And it's all Aeolian. It's all in C Aeolian. As a matter of fact, it doesn't even have the B in it, but that B would be nice. That G7, right? You can hear how that B resolves to the C note, right? The B leads to the C note. And then when we get to the next section here, I'm just going to back up one more time. When we get to the next section, where E. So that when we get to E flat, that very clearly that says the E flat minor. That very clearly says that's a new tonal center. We're leading somewhere else because this has really very little, let's put it this way, a weaker relationship to C minor than it does have to the new tonal center of D flat major 7. And you can sort of hear how that comes up. So here is the top 2 chord. And so you can very clearly hear that 2 chord in the D flat as being something new. So without a doubt, once you get here, and the same thing happens in the melody, as a matter of fact, once you get here, you have to be clear that you are now in D flat, and that's the way you should play that. So D flat. I'll just play it along with the track, and you'll be able to hear that. Try one more pass, C. Yes. Okay. So that's it. It's very much a scale approach that I'm using. You know, I'm going from C Aeolian to D flat major. Another way to approach this soloing over any tune is emphasizing the chords. And there's no better way to start emphasizing the chords than to play the roots of the chords, just simply the roots of the chords in any octave, and just to sort of pick up the rhythm of what you're of the track. So root, root. So on, right? Just simple like that, and then from there you can start to build up to. This will help you to also hear bass lines, right? That's really important, and then you can build up to a root and third. So the third of C, right, and the third of the F minor. And then the third of the D minor 7 flat 5. You can hear how that clearly defines the chord, right? It's a great method of really digging in, and not just running scales up and down the fretboard, but defining the chord progression. Now we can take that one step further and go from the root to the 3. And then the 7th below, so in the 7th below C would be the B flat. and G. You can very clearly hear what is happening there. So what I'm doing is just the there's the seventh below, right? D minor 7 flat 5. There's my 7, G. And you can hear that all sounds right, right? And that's sort of the point. Sounding right is really a good place to start. And then we can add the fifth to that. So we can let's add the fifth below. C, E flat, G, and B flat are the notes in the C minor 7 chord. We add the fifth below, which would be G. Right. I'm just adding the fifth, and in the D minor 7 flat 5 and G, and back to the C. Let's play that against the track. Something as simple as the fifth is really powerful, and very effective. And naturally, you can build up from there. But again, here's the fifth. And so on, right? You can hear that fifth. And now I'm not suggesting that's it. That's the only way you're going to solo. You can definitely use scales. You can definitely use altered scales. You can use notes, imply other notes in the chords as well. But what I'm talking about here is when I say imply other notes in the chords as well, you can imply the ninth against this chord. You can imply the ninth against this chord. At the G7 with the flat 9, of course, you want to strongly imply the flat 9. But you can add the 13, and so on. But what I'm sticking to today is the meat and potatoes, the bones of what it is to learn how to play over a standard and start to build a pattern of practice that will lead your ears to an understanding of the underlying harmonic foundations of a tune, or the harmonic architecture of a tune like this. Okay. As far as fretboard mechanics are concerned, when I say fretboard mechanics, you take the scale in that position, you take the scale in this position, you take the scale in this position, and so on. You start to work. Do one session where you're just working at fret 3 region, another session where you're working at fret 5 region, another session where you're working in the fret 8 region, and so on, right? Okay, I think that's all I wanted to say about this play along track. But no, it's not quite all I wanted to say. What I also would like to add is that when you adopt a tune like this, and that's what I'm suggesting you do, you adopt a tune like this. Now, what does that mean? That means, I want to learn this tune backwards, forwards, and upside down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to memorize it. I'm going to use this playing track, which I'll link in the description. and which is a very good playing track, play along track, by the way. I really like it. I checked on several, and actually one of them, well, no, more than one of them, were making mistakes, and they were bummer mistakes that really got in the way of the quality of the tune. It got in the way of the melody, actually. That wrong. But this is a nice track, and one of the things I like about this track is let's just listen to it for a sec again. It's so light, right? And it doesn't get in the way of the guitar player with another guitar player, and the mix here seems to be quite balanced and well done. And the piano player isn't soloing through the whole thing; he's actually comping and like musically. So it's a really nice track, and I would suggest you use that. So back to adopting a tune. When you decide to play a tune like this, it's not that you're going to keep it in your repertoire and go and play in a bunch of lounges, or whatever the heck. I mean, what you're doing is learning about harmony, learning about the instrument. Learning how to play in different keys and hear changes, hear the bass lines, and so on. This applies to everything that you'll ever want to learn and everything that you'll ever want to know. So it's a matter of if you will, a balanced pedagogy of learning. And so I would strongly suggest an approach like this through a number of standards. Now, when you adopt a standard, that means you learn it and you keep it. And then you adopt another standard, you learn that one and you keep it. You can define it. You can write out the chord progression and you by memory, you can play it by memory. You can do it in several different keys and so on, right? So it's not just a matter of, okay, I did that, now I'm finished. No, you're not going to be finished with a tune like this for like a long time until you learn everything there is to know about this tune. And I hope that in these introductions to these classic jazz standards, that you will begin to see that there's lots more to learn than meets the eye. Actually, what you want to learn is what meets the ear, and how to understand these tunes and dig down into them a little deeper. Okay, that's it for today. I hope that is going to be a help to you. If it is a help to you, please like and subscribe. I'll have this play-along track linked in the description. Make sure to watch both videos on this topic and using this tune, and buy me a coffee. That would be nice. Leave a comment. I answer them all. Buy one of my books on Amazon. That helps support this channel. Okay, thanks, and we'll talk to you real soon.